Hi, this is Sandy, and I'm here to put together my card for hashtag FDC4, hosted by Shanna at Shanuki Art. And each week we have some prompts that we can choose from to use on our card. I'm making a booklet, well, not really a booklet, but it's on a ring. I have cards on a ring with these cards this year. And so this is the size I'm working with. And the prompts that I could choose from for this week were scalloped edge. So I got a white scallop, dots and spots. So I have this piece of paper that came with some dots on it. I also chose it because one of the prompts is green. And then it said napkin. So I thought this bird has green in it, would go really nicely with the colors that I'm using, and it's from a napkin. I just cut one of the squares and tore the extra piece off, and I'm going to cut it down when I decide what I want to use on the card. It's a big bird for the card, but I don't have to use the whole bird, and that's what I'm thinking. Green, got green in the card. Tab, I got a little tab that's yellow that I thought would go along with the card, and I could put it on the side and have a tab. Numbers, so I got a stamp that's got numbers on it that I could use on it. And blending, I don't know that I'm really going to do blending, but I've got the white from the scallop, so I've got quite a few of the things off the prompts. So I think that's the direction I'm going to go today for this card. And so I forgot to get my little block out for my numbers. This block has been used a lot. I've got some it was like the archival ink that is hard to get off of there. But that's okay, because that happens during crafting. If we're using our tools, they start to show some wear and tear. And I'm just going to use the Tea-Dye Distress ink for my stamping, as well as for inking around the edge. So I'm going to start by putting my card on my card paper. It's kind of a cardstock. Onto this card, and I didn't cut it exactly so I could trim it. I'd rather have it be a little big and trim it than have it not fit on my card when I'm done. So I had cut that ahead of time, and I do have a little bit of trimming to do here. That edge looks pretty good. Bottom looks pretty good. Got a little bit on this edge. Just to trim off. And then I will punch the hole so I know where that is when I'm working with it. And I think I'm going to wait to ink the edge because I'm thinking about putting the scallop on the side with the bird, but I'm going to wait with that. I think I just want to do some numbers in the background. So I'll do that now. And I'm just looking for a scrap piece of paper because I want to do it off the edge. I've got some book page here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't care if it's a little distressed. I'm okay with that. Or if it doesn't all show up exactly, I'm okay with that. But that puts some some numbers on it. So I've got that part done, got the numbers. I got green. I got some dots and spots. Now I want to do the birdie. And I learned a trick that you may already know. But if you use a little bit of water on the edge, you can tear it instead of cutting it. Napkins can be kind of hard too. And I think I want this birdie up here. Anyway, if you do a little bit of water around it, and I just have a water bottle off to the side that I use to clean my bread. Oh, I did a little more than I should have there, but that's okay. Then you can just tear where it's wet. And it gives you an uneven edge, which I kind of like too. Especially if you're doing like a mixed media project or something. It works really well. I kind of like some of these branches, so I think I'll go ahead. I can always cut them off the bottom if I choose not to keep them all in there. Be a little more exact if you don't get quite as much water as what I originally did. But enable to see that works better, and I didn't have as much water. And you can kind of decide where you want to go. It's not like you can't take more off later, but I kind of want to see how this looks on my card and how much of it I want to have. Didn't get that. I ripped that top a little more than what I wanted to, but I think it'll be okay when it's on my card. So if I put the scallop off to the one side a little bit, and then put the birdie on there, and some of the tail will hang off. But I'm okay with that. I'll cut that off. This was off of a piece of paper, a scrap I had. And instead of using the front side, I'm using the back side. So that's a hint for how to use some of those scraps that you're not sure what to do with. You can punch, and if they're one-sided paper, you can punch and use the other side, the white side, for something. You can ink on it or whatever. Okay, I think a glue stick is probably going to work best for, excuse the arm, work best for the napkin, to get the napkin to lay down. Okay, let's see if I got enough on there to work. The napkin kind of blends in usually, which is why it's kind of nice for a mixed media project. Now you can use a matte liquid, or I'm trying to think of what the name of it is. Anyway, that you use for a lot of mixed media projects, and then you can put it over the top, and it works really great for collage. I need some on this corner. Okay. Now I'm gonna cut the rest of the birdie off. And cut the rest of the scallop off. Kind of wish I had inked the scallop before I put it down, but I didn't, so that's okay. That's the way it goes with crafting sometimes. We think of things after we've already moved past the place where it's appropriate. I'm going to ink the edge though, because I really do think that'll add to this card. with some of the tea dye on the edge, make everything kind of blend together, and it gives it a finished edge look, I feel like, instead of it just being open. It kind of closes it in, kind of frames it. Okay, so I've got the tab to put on. Better put the cap back on my water bottle so I don't end up spilling it. So I have the white, I got the scalloped edge, the white, I have the napkin. Now it's just the tab that's left, and I think I'm just going to ink the edges of the tab a little bit so it'll kind of blend into the rest of the card, and get the top on both sides. Now I just have to decide, do I want it up in this corner? Do I want it over here on this part? I almost feel like I need something there, so originally I thought I'd go on this side, but I am thinking that it helps fill in a little bit of that white space there if I glue that on the side like that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm about ready to wrap this up, I think. I have used most of the prompts that were available. Okay, my glue's being stubborn with me. When I get to crafting, I sometimes don't get the lid put on fast enough, and so then it starts to... So that's more glue than I would normally use, but had to squeeze harder to get it to come out to begin with. Okay, so my card has a tab on it. I have a partial scallop I can use in the future for something. And I think that extra napkin's just going to get thrown away because there wasn't enough on that part. I did keep the other birdie, so I can use the other birdie on something else. And this is also kind of nice for a background because it kind of has some print in the back, and so that looks really nice. It also has some texture on the edge of the napkin, so that's really nice for using on a card. So I'll probably use that on something here. I'll put it in with my things to use pile. Well, thank you for watching. This is for week 17. Be sure and check out the hashtag FDC4. And I will put Shanna's information in the description box below so you can check out what she's doing and what everyone else is doing. Thank you for watching my video.